Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. In this video, we're talking about the 6 reasons we heat with firewood. Thanks for coming and watching today's video. Today's video, we're talking about the 6 reasons we heat with firewood in our Buck Stove Model 91. Now, we've done lots of videos in the past on this channel about cutting, stacking, and splitting firewood. And some people might wonder, why are you doing all that work? Well, here's the 6 reasons I came up with. And I'll be honest, I started out with 3 reasons, but they just kept coming more and more and more. There's probably more than 10 reasons we heat with firewood, but here's the 6 I want to talk to you about today. Reason number 1 is I like wood heat. So you see me cutting, splitting, and stacking all that firewood. You see me doing videos about firewood burning in the wood stove here. It's all because wood heat is my favorite heat. I actually moved the chair from over there because I was a little bit too close and it's hot. Wood stoves put out a lot of heat. You can hear there's a blower that's blowing that heat, that warm, dehumidified air outward. It heats our entire basement. It heats our entire house. And unlike other types of heat, like let's say a forced air furnace, what I've noticed in that type of heat is you'll get really warm, maybe even too hot, and then the furnace kicks off, and you get a little bit chilly, and then a little bit later the furnace kicks on, you get a little bit too warm. With wood stove heat, it's pretty steady. I stock the stove as needed. I add firewood in. I can adjust how much air intake there is. I've got the damper pushed all the way closed. This is catalytic combustion, so the heat is pretty regular. We can get too hot sometimes, but when that happens, you can just lower the amount of air going into the stove, let the temperature in the catalytic combustion chamber decrease from 1500 to 1000 down to 600 degrees, and there'll be less heat coming out. You can also adjust the blower fan speed, so there's less blower blowing that heat out. So wood heat is my favorite, and that's reason number 1. But followed closely behind is reason number 2. It saves us a lot of money. We actually did a video, and I'll put a video link up above, on how much we save burning firewood. So we are in an all-electric house, and when I built this house 22 years ago, I was scared to death that I'd have $1,000 or $1,100 or a $1,200 electric bill trying to heat with electric baseboard heat. So early on, I invested in this Buck stove, and we've had a fire going in the winter times for the last 22 years to keep those utility bills low and our energy use low. Reason number 3, and this could actually slide up higher maybe, is I enjoy the entire process of firewooding. First of all, I love spending time outside. You know how there's some types of dogs like huskies that it doesn't matter if it's freezing cold, snowing, they want to be outside. They're outside dogs and they don't like to be inside. Surprisingly, our Great Dane is just the opposite. She hates being outside unless we're outside, and she'd much rather be curled up near the couch. She'd probably like to be on the couch if we'd allow her. But I like to be a mix of outside and inside. When I'm outside, I really enjoy that time splitting, cutting, and preparing firewood for the winter heat. The other part of the process that I enjoy is the equipment. My entire life, I've enjoyed tractors, trucks, things that make work easier, and things that are kind of like toys that also do work. So I've always loved tractors, chainsaws, log splitters, and that part of the process is probably the highlight of why I make so much firewood. And then the third part of the process that I really like is just the time together. We split firewood with Mom and Dad. I split firewood with Jennifer and Mackenzie. And it's nice to be outside using all that equipment I like with family and friends. Okay, so reason number 1 was we like the wood heat. Reason number 2 was we save a lot of money on our heating bill. Reason number 3, I enjoy the entire process. Reason number 4, sustainability. We've got a lot of land around us. That land is naturally filled with PA hardwoods. That's white oak, red oak, cherry, hickory, maple, and that abundance of wood around us, it just makes sense. It's good sustainability to use the wood that comes down naturally. We don't cut down any trees unless they're a danger to the property. So we did do some trimming this year of a couple trees that were pretty close to the house and the shed. But normally we take advantage of the trees that have fallen over in a windstorm or are standing dead timber, and that's all we cut. We don't cut standing live trees just for firewood. So it's really nice for us to be able to utilize the resources on our land to provide heat for us in the wintertime. Reason number 5, firewooding is a workout. I did a video recently about, is firewooding a young man's game? Well, it's certainly a workout. You don't need a membership to the gym if you're going to be cutting, splitting, and stacking firewood all the time. Great workout. And last but not least, reason number 6, it lets us be self-sufficient for heating. So we are not obviously an off-grid home here, but if there were some type of a catastrophe or emergency and there were no power available, we could be self-sufficient and able to heat our home using the firewood that we've processed throughout the years previous. The buck stove does use electricity to turn the fan on, but it doesn't have to have the fan on. So if we were completely without power, the buck stove would still burn the fire and produce radiant heat for us here to be warm in the house. We could also use the Bluetti or the Jackery if we needed to plug the fan in so that it would constantly blow that heat out and heat the house even more. So self-sustaining, we can produce our own firewood, we can burn the fire to make our own heat if we absolutely had to. So those are our top 6 reasons we heat with firewood. Leave those comments down below if you heat with firewood, other reasons that you enjoy or prefer firewood heat. And then we'll see you again the next time.